So today we're going to be reacting to the first music video that I ever put out. So this was for a song of mine that I did called Where Do I Go Now? And this song I put together, this song shows my growth early on as a songwriter, as an artist, and this music video and this song pretty much talk about my experience with getting bullied. This was the second song that I put out where we touch on that experience and just how I overcame it, all that stuff, what I went through and how I overcame it. So yeah, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is my music video for my song, Where Do I Go Now? And we're going to react to it. So here we go.
Rest in peace to the kids who got bullied to the point to where they committed suicide and their stories weren't heard. This track is for all of you. Everybody listen closely. It may touch you.
So those pictures that you guys see, those were pictures of kids that had taken their life due to being bullied. So yeah, those pictures that you guys saw were all kids that had taken their own life due to being bullied. And you know, like I said in the intro right there, like this song goes out to all of them. So yeah, let me pull it back a little bit and let's get into it.
As a kid, he was an outcast.
Look at baby DJJ. Look at him. Look at that baby. Why did I pause like that? But yeah, shoo. I was probably 18 when this came out. Oh my God. What a throwback. What a throwback, dude.
As a kid, he was an outcast. He had no friends. Tears came fast. Why didn't they like him? No reason at all. He called for help. No one answered his call.
Yep, that's basically how it was. You know, as a kid, I always felt like an outcast. You know, and still to this day as an adult, I still feel like an outcast. But it doesn't really bother me nowadays because I would rather be the outcast versus being, you know, accepted into whatever group is out there. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, back then, way back when, I always felt like an outcast. And I've always felt like I didn't belong in certain spaces. And to a degree, it affected me a little bit. And I think people caught on to it, which is why they probably found it easier to bully me, because they knew they took advantage of the fact that I was feeling like I didn't belong, right? So, you know, they're like, yeah, this guy don't belong here, so let's teach him. You know, let's teach him why he doesn't belong here, type of situation. And you know, no matter how many times I tried to go to anybody for help, you know, it just never happened. You know, I never got the help that I needed in this experience that I went through.
Came fast. Why didn't they like him? No reason at all. He called for.
You see that art on the wall? Hold on, let me show you guys this. You see all this art on the wall? This was all art that I did in my classes to, well, like one, I was in an art class for 2 years out of my high school experience. So all this art that you guys see on the wall, during my time in high school, like this was my escape, along with writing songs and making music. This was all my escape during high school, was just art. And anytime I had something that I thought was cool, I put it on my wall. And yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's it.
He called for help, no one answered his call. Skipped to 5th grade, he was getting picked on, becoming a victim of this worldwide phenomenon.
Skipped to 5th grade. Started getting picked on. becoming a victim of this worldwide phenomenon. Basically, you know, we're getting into it. You know, we skipped to my 5th grade year, which was the year where I was bullied consistently to the point of my breaking point, which we'll reenact in this music video that you guys will see.
He was getting picked on, becoming a victim of this worldwide phenomenon. Turned to suicide, but didn't follow through.
Turned to suicide, but didn't follow through. Pretty self-explanatory there. During my 5th grade year, I was bullied so much to the point to where I just wanted to end my own life, and I didn't want to be here anymore because of it.
Turned to suicide, but didn't follow through. Chose to keep living, but the pain just grew. Verbally insulted.
Wow, hold on. Hold up. Wow. Wow, dude. Seeing the people that are in this scene right now is just wow. It's got me feeling a lot of different ways. Crazy.
But didn't follow through. Chose to keep living, but the pain just grew. Verbally insulted and physically hurt. Home with holes in his pants and mud on his shirt. Didn't tell his parents, he was too scared. Went to his friends, but none of them cared. He was all alone, all by himself. Just another item stuck on the shelf. Just another kid suffering hate and shame. I relate to this kid cause I felt his pain. Now tell me.
Crazy, dude. So we're basically just reenacting what it was like when I was getting bullied in school, you know, just consistently shoved to the ground, consistently picked on, consistently made fun of, consistently laughed at on so many different occasions, man. It was not a great time in my life at all when I was going through that. And we really did our best to portray this in this video. Shout out to Raymond with No Label Productions, by the way. He was the one that shot this and helped put it all together, and he did a fantastic job. This turned out really well, and you know, this song and this video in particular really opened up a lot of doors, not just for Auburn Hip Hop Congress, the nonprofit that I'm with, but it opened a lot of doors for myself too. And yeah, I'm forever grateful for this song. I've really thought about putting, since I already own the rights to the beat and stuff, I've really thought about putting it out on all platforms, no lie. Let's go back a bit. So let's go back and like analyze the lyrics, because I know we let a lot go through without pausing. So
chose to keep living, but the pain just grew. Verbally insulted and physically hurt. Home with holes in his pants and mud on his shirt.
Verbally insulted and physically hurt. Home with holes in his pants and mud on his shirt. All the time. I remember this very vividly, but there would be some days when I would come home from school and, you know, I would come home with like mud on my shirt. I would come home with mud on my pants, holes in my pants, all of that stuff. And my mom was always like, "Why do you got holes in your pants today?" And it was just like, I don't know, you know, played too hard, I guess. Sorry, Mom, type of situation. But little did she know, it was because her dear son was getting picked on relentlessly.
Physically hurt. Home with holes in his pants and mud on his shirt. Didn't tell his parents, he was too scared. Went to his friends, but none of them
went to his parents, couldn't go to his parents, he was too scared. Went to his friends, but none of them cared. And it wasn't, in retrospect, it wasn't because none of them cared. It was because none of them wanted to go through what I was going through. And to this day, I do not blame them for that, because I wouldn't want anyone else to experience what I went through when I was going through this problem that I went through.
Parents, he was too scared. Went to his friends, but none of them cared. He was all alone, all by himself. Just another item stuck on the shelf.
He was all alone, all by himself. Just another item stuck on the shelf. Just feeling like I'm one of those. Just feeling like I was one of those items that you see on top of the shelf that's always by themselves, collecting dust, never gets taken down, all that stuff. Never gets picked, all that. That's basically what it was like.
By himself, just another item stuck on the shelf, just another kid suffering hate and shame. I relate to this kid cause I felt his pain. Now tell me.
Just another kid suffering hate and shame. I relate to this kid because I felt his pain. Now tell me. So I'm basically, in the first verse, I'm basically talking about, actually this entire song, I'm talking like as if I'm talking about somebody else, but in reality, I'm talking about me. Because I wanted to write from that different perspective and give that, like, tell that kind of story from that point of view. So we nailed it. Like this song turned out really well.
Just another kid suffering hate and shame. I relate to this kid cause I felt his pain. Now tell me.
My favorite part.
Where do I go now? Where do I go? I wish I knew. Really wish I knew. Where to go from here? Trying to find my way. I wish I just knew. Where do I go now? Where do I go? I wish I knew. Really wish I knew. Where to go from here? Trying to find my way. I wish I just knew.
Dude, like this part of the song, people caught on to this part of the song so fast because of how catchy that chorus is. And this was the first song that I did where I tried to sing on it. I have to give major props to Brandon Scott, who was going by Chosen at the time. He was the one that helped me record this song. He mixed it, mastered it, all that. Really helped bring the vision of this song to life when it comes to the audio portion of it. And dude, like it was so much fun to record this song. And like, I don't know, like this song still holds a special place in my heart because of, not even just because of what the song is and how therapeutic it was for me, but because of how many doors it opened for me and the impact that it even had on others. You know, there were people that I went to school with that heard this and told me personally how much the song helped them, you know, when they were feeling a type of way. So like this song is, I want to say this was the song that was the positive turning point for me when people started listening to me. This is what got people to start listening to me.
Where to go from here? Trying to find my way. I wish I just knew. Where to go? Wishing he knew. Lost and confused, not much he can do. He keeps on walking, then gets tripped. All of his dignity just done got chipped. Kids laughing.
Let's talk about that. Where to go? Wishing he knew. Lost and confused, not much he could do. He keeps on walking, then gets tripped. All of his dignity just done got gypped. Basically how I felt every time that I was tripped, pushed down, made fun of. You know, I just always felt like I was kicked to the curb, and I would just try to figure out where I was going, and I couldn't ever find my way, both physically and mentally. You know, it took its toll on me, big time.
Then gets tripped. All of his dignity just done got chipped. Kids laughing, looking at making fun. He lost his cool, patience he had none.
So we're about to reenact this part coming up where the moment, we're about to reenact the moment of where I reached my breaking point during this experience. And there's a story behind this, and I can't wait to tell it to you guys. So he said, kids laughing, looking and making fun. Lost his cool, patience he had none. So basically, everything's building. We're losing our patience. We're trying to keep our cool, but we're about to lose it.
He lost his cool, patience he had none. He stood up, pinned the kid to the wall. He's in control, he's standing tall. Pull back.
So let's back it up a little bit. This guy right here. So this guy is acting as the bully. Obviously, we have me. I'm acting as the one that's getting bullied. So we shot this part at an elementary school that one of my teachers became the principal at, and she let us come in and use this hallway to shoot this scene. And basically we're reenacting a very crucial moment in this story. So let's play it out.
He stood up, pinned the kid to the wall. He's in control, he's standing tall. Pulled back and swung, broke the kid's jaw. The crowd was silent, they were all.
So it was very quick. So I'll give you guys a little play-by-play.
He had none. He stood
We're walking
up,
in the hallway,
the
ready?
wall. He's in control.
He's gonna shoulder check me. Shoulder checks me. I pin him against the wall, punch him in the face, and break his jaw. So the funny thing behind this scene is when we were shooting it, every time that I would try to pin this guy against the wall and punch him in the face, he would always, we had to do several takes because he ended up smiling and laughing at like during the whole thing. And it got so bad to the point that one of my good friends that was dating him at the time, like, literally had to pull him aside. And I don't know what she said to him, but whatever she said, it lit a fire in him. And then we were able to shoot the take successfully. So I don't even know how many takes we did of this specific part, but it was intense. And as you can tell, you know, the intensity of this part matches the intensity of what I felt in that moment where I snapped and had enough. You know, I tell this part of the story. I try to keep this part out of the story when I'm doing public speaking, but I'll say it here. When I reached my boiling point, I picked this kid up by the collar of his shirt. I pinned him against the wall. I pulled back. I swung, and I broke the kid's jaw that picked on me in 5th grade, bro. I don't condone violence. I always say that when I'm giving my spiel. You know, violence is never the answer. You should never, ever resort to violence. You should never combat violence with violence, because what does that do? It doesn't do anything. It doesn't solve anything. It doesn't make the problem better. It just creates more problems. So I always tell people, if you have the capability to, turn around, walk away, go to somebody. No matter how many times you have to do it, go to somebody and tell them what's going on. Because combating violence with violence is the equivalent of fighting fire with fire. It doesn't solve the problem.
His cool, patience he had none. He stood up, pinned the kid to the wall. He's in control, he's standing tall. Pulled back and swung, broke the kid's jaw.
Bam.
The crowd was silent, they were all in awe. Knowing it was wrong, he turned himself in. What was that move? The move of a betterment, a true.
So that part right there, the crowd was silent, they were all in awe. Knowing it was wrong, he turned himself in. What was that move? The move of a better man. So the part of the story where I talk about, you know, snapping and hitting my breaking point, the part that I talk about is when I hit my breaking point and I did what I did, I went to the principal's office and confessed what I did, but I also told him the events that led up to that moment. just so they had a clear understanding of the story. And you know, we both got in trouble. You know, me and the bully, both of us got in trouble. You know, it wasn't the ideal outcome, you know. But what happened, and after that, you know, the bullying decreased quite a lot, and people eventually just left me alone.
They were all in awe. Knowing it was wrong, he turned himself in. What was that move? The move of a betterment, a true soldier, fighting through adversity, always pulling through all the controversy. Needing a new method to get out his anger, came up with the idea
what the heck?
of being
Hold on, I look like I'm in love right there. Hold on, look at this face.
Came up with the idea of being a writer. Controversy.
Look at me. I'm just like, I look like I'm in love or something, dude.
Needing a new method to get out his anger, came up with the idea of being a writer.
Okay, hold on, let's go back a little bit more.
Move of a betterment, a true soldier, fighting through adversity, always pulling through all the controversy. Needing a new method to get out his anger, came up with the idea of being a writer.
Needing a new method to get out his anger, came up with the idea of being a writer. I've always written in some way, shape, or form. When I was younger, I used to put together these little comic books. I used to like draw the characters out and draw the little speech bubbles for them to say what they were saying and stuff like that. Like I would create these comic books. I don't even know where they are right now, but I would create these comic books and just make stories. And then as I got older, you know, writing just became more therapeutic for me. But throughout middle school, I was more into like art, so I would be drawing a lot. And then potentially songwriting came into the fold because of a couple friends of mine and myself wanted to form a band, so I became the lead guy. So I just started to write songs, and from there it was all over. Your boy caught the writing bug.
Came up with the idea of being a writer.
Best part.
Where do I go now? Where do I go? I wish
I don't know why I chose a hat that was so freaking faded. Like, look how faded that hat is. It looks horrid.
Where do I go? I wish I knew. Really wish I knew. Where to go from here? Trying to find my way.
Well, let's go back to that, where it showed me writing that.
Go from here. Trying to find my way. I wish I just knew. Where do I go now?
God dang it, where is it?
Go? I wish I knew. Really wish I knew.
I love that he zoomed in on this part right here, because this was a song that I was already writing at that time. Obviously, it never came out. But we wanted to portray myself, you know, writing something. And hi Shannon. But we wanted to portray myself writing something, and so, because the story of becoming a writer and how writing became my new therapeutic outlet. And so it was cool that we zoomed in on this shot right here where it says the man I am today, kind of bringing the story full circle in a way.
I wish I knew. Really wish I knew. Where to go from here? Trying to find my way. I wish I just knew. Where do I go now? Where do I go? I wish I knew. Really wish I knew. Where to go from here? Trying to find my way. I wish I just knew.
Bada bing, bada boom, baby.